this is Yusun. Today we'll be meeting with a dance team that has millions of views on YouTube with over 460,000 followers. Known for their excellent dance performances on YouTube as well as their live performances, they're one of the top K-pop dance cover groups in the Bay Area. Not only do they do K-pop covers, but they also offer dance tutorials and more on their channel. Starting in 2017, they ranked highly in many worldwide K-pop dance cover contests. Most recently, they won first place for their Everglow dance cover through My Music Taste. Everyone, let's meet two of the co-directors, Sarah and Lena from the dance group Eclipse.
둘, 셋. Looking for you, Eclipse. 안녕하세요, Eclipse입니다.
Hello, we are Eclipse K-pop.
So happy to have you guys here. So let's go and talk about the beginning of Eclipse. I want to hear about where you got started. What's the origin story?
I actually moved to the Bay Area right after college for my career, and I wanted to really get back into K-pop dancing, and so I had found a couple dance studios in the Bay that had a couple classes, and so I met a bunch of people through there, and then I had actually joined a college-based dance team. So after dancing with the college group for a little bit, I actually wanted to, one, no longer dance with the college group just because I wasn't a student at that school, and two, kind of take something more seriously through the YouTube sector just because they were more focused on kind of live performances through the school. So that's really where we started out, and it was really interesting because none of us really knew what we were doing. And so it was definitely a really big learning process for us to kind of get into the groove of things. That's really how Eclipse started. It was just kind of me like wanting to have friends to dance K-pop with in the Bay Area.
That's so cool that you were able to start this pretty much from the ground up, it sounds like. And Lena, obviously you now have a pretty big role as a co-director. Could you tell us about how you came in?
I actually joined around the second season, so maybe I think it was a couple months old, Eclipse was. I had come back home to the Bay Area from college and like working abroad and stuff. And I started taking K-pop dance classes just in some studios in San Francisco. And that was where I like started to learn K-pop dance and getting like really interested in it.
Wow, that's so exciting that you really could just start as a member and now be a director and having a pretty heavy hand in the direction of the group. So it sounds like you had a lot of growth really quickly from the start of your group. Could you tell us a little more about the early struggles you had in building that foundation?
Yeah, so I think what a lot of people are not quite mistaken about, but just don't really immediately see is the fact that when we started Eclipse, it was kind of like, you know when you make home videos and you just kind of put them up on YouTube? That's how it was for us. And we just kind of said, I'll commission someone for a logo, just to, make it look cool. But we did not intend to become this. And so this was something that we really weren't like struggling with necessarily because it was kind of like, we'll find time, And then as we started, creating more and more videos, there was one where Got7 Hard Carry, we actually ended up uploading that video pretty soon after the song was released. And that one I think hit 30,000 views, and within I think a week or two. And so all of us kind of said, oh, okay, I guess there's something we can move forward in the future with this. And so that's really when we started kind of getting, quite honestly, a little greedy about, views and social media and, and growth. But we really wanted to, I personally really wanted to make sure that we, don't lose our focus in terms of like at least having fun and growing as a team, because at the end of the day, the views and the numbers are really nice, and I'm not going to deny that, that's not part of why I enjoy the team now, but we can't lose sight of the fact that we are now a team and we do this for fun, and K-pop is just like for fun, So we do this because we love our idols, we do this because we love K-pop, and we love each other on the team.
That absolutely makes sense. So I guess to bring it back a little to your roots, I know one of the first public videos, at least on your channel, is a cover of Why So Lonely by Wonder Girls. Can you tell us about the experience of uploading that first cover?
Yeah, so Why So Lonely was kind of our test, like pilot video, right? So we kind of said, hey, maybe, you know, we should try to go ahead and find something that got released a little, that was going to be released fairly recently, so that, you know, try to see, you know, how many views like it might get and something like that. And so we, you know, practiced for, I think, I want to say 2 weeks or so.
Actually, we're going to bring it back to the very roots and watch your cover of Why So Lonely together. So why don't we watch Eclipse's cover of Why So Lonely?
I'm so excited.
너와 입술이 닿을 때부터 모든 게 달라질 줄 알았는데 별거 없어 넌 다른 게 없어 너와 보내는 주말 밤이 아주 달콤할 거라 믿었는데 별거 없어 넌 다른 게 없어 유화에 나오는 예쁜 연인들처럼 그런 사랑을 원하는데 Baby why I'm so lonely 나는 타는데 넌 원해 Baby no 내 맘이 언제 널 떠나버릴지 몰라 네 맘은 도대체 내가 얼마나 널 사랑하는데 이렇게 답답한 기분은 뭔데 뭔가 콩깍지가 셨는데 너도 나만큼 빠져야 하는데 너만 멋져 내 마음만 다쳐 괜찮을 거라고 mind control 해도 예상 밖에 있는 내 남잔 out of control 잔소리만 넘쳐 알면 알수록 모르겠어 맘이 왜 자꾸 외로워지는지 텅 빈 방 안에 혼자 갇혀버린 것 같아 Baby why I'm so lonely 나는 타는데 넌 원해 Baby no 내 맘이 언제 널 떠나버릴지 몰라 네 맘은 도대체 내가 얼마나 널 사랑하는데 이렇게 답답한 기분은 뭔데 I don't wanna talk about it 말하지 않아도 모두 다 알아봐주길 아 이건 내 그저 가벼운 바람일 뿐이 귓가엔 그저 스치는 바람일 뿐 귀찮다는 듯 얼굴 고기야 뭐든 대충대충 당연하던 듯 너는 우겨다면 더 잘해줄게 응 다음이 어딨어 내 이번 기회 떠나 그저 너 아직도 너 정신 못 차리면 자기 직전 I'm so lonely 나는 타는데 넌 원해 내 맘이 언제 널 떠나버릴지 몰라 네 맘은 도대체 내가 얼마나 널 사랑하는데 이렇게 답답한 기분은 뭔데 네 맘은 도대체 내가 얼마나 널 사랑하는데 이렇게 답답한 기분은 뭔데 뭐야
Oh my gosh, so incredible. What a throwback. Does it just bring back all the feelings to watch these?
Yes and no. I think it's one of those memories where, not quite traumatic, but it's one of those like, I would like to forget it. And so I do a really good job of, you know, removing memories from my mind. Yes, compartmentalizing.
So when was the last time you think you watched this video before just now?
When you edited it.
That, like, no, actually, I was really proud that first time. I think it's been a couple years at least, like, because I think once we kind of started hitting 2018, the quality of our once we started codifying, you know, our process, we started having much higher standards for our videos. And so I think around 2018 is probably when I stopped being as proud of that first cover.
Because you've grown so much.
Exactly.
Because you've
Because we've
improved
grown.
so much.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. I think a lot of people can probably relate to prior performances and just growth in general. So I know not just in terms of dance skill, but in the structure of your group, you guys have changed a lot since then. Now developing subgroups with, you know, solar and lunar. Can you tell us a little bit about that process you guys took in the decision to create this type of structure?
Before we even started out with our subunits, we actually would invite members to participate in a video or a cover on a, you know, song by song basis. And because we were very invite only, we really chose members who we felt would be appropriate, who could, you know, move similarly to the idols. And so we realized that first that wasn't really a sustainable model or pattern for us to follow. And then we kind of said, well, most of the time, you know, girl group dances are have similar movement sets, and same with boy group. And so we then said, you know, because our team name is Eclipse, you know, there's solar and lunar eclipses, we then went and said, you know, I think we can go ahead and create subunits. And the sun is generally more associated, once again, with masculinity, and the moon, once again, this is very hand wavy, very traditional roots. So the moon is, you know, technically and has more often been associated with femininity. And one of the big things that we have always said from the beginning is we don't really care about gender of our members in any subunits. So this is really mostly about movement sets and how well a member can move in a certain type of settings.
I can definitely tell from your leadership style and the way you talk about your group that you really care about the values and the culture you build in Eclipse.
Absolutely.
And as leaders, that's a really important part of building culture and teamwork and that sort of thing. So what kind of values do you try to bring intentionally into your group to build the culture that is Eclipse?
Generally, we do try to go with the that idea of like, look, it's just K-pop and we're here to have fun, but we're going to hold each other to a very high standard. We expect each other to come to practice, to come prepared, to be responsible for yourself, and also just to respect all of the people on the team. And I know I feel like that's a very general thing. It's like, oh yeah, like everybody come in and you just respect each other and it's a safe space. But I think one of the really special things that I truly appreciate about Eclipse is how seriously everybody takes that.
Yeah, I think also it really comes through when you guys are dancing together that you are close. It takes chemistry, it takes familiarity, and even just an air of friendliness to be able to be so close with people. I also know that sometimes when you're dancing in public, people need to get changed, and you developed a technique to support your members when they need to do that.
Yeah, so we have dubbed it our Eclipse closet. So what we do is we create a changing room, and most of the time members, you know, because we'll be in San Francisco, a lot of people will have jackets. So what we would do is either, you know, some of the boys would kind of turn around. If there's a girl changing behind them, they would do this. So
if there was somebody right here, we would
just do this, right? And we would hide them. And the other thing we would do is, like, for example, if we wanted to kind of take care of our, especially like younger girls, then we would kind of go in and like check in on them, going like, hey, do you need a hand? You know? And then we would, the best part, I think, is the fact that we would kind of hold these up. And then people would kind of just be talking, and we'd be like, oh my God, did you see that comeback stage? And we would just continue our conversation, and then whoever's in there would be like, all right, I'm done. Okay, and then we would go, does anyone else need it? You know, then they would go in, otherwise we'd be like, all right, cool, all right, thanks guys, let's get ready, you know, and then we, you know, would just go on with our lives and put our jackets back on.
It's very cute.
I love how natural that is, that everyone just knows on cue, someone needs to get changed, all right, take my jacket off.
We never established it.
We never
were like, hey guys, what if we just made our own changes?
Yeah, so there actually is kind of an origin for that. We had a performance at First Friday in Oakland in early early 2018, I want to say, and it was Oakland, and
Yes.
in the streets, right? It was that block party, and we couldn't find a bathroom. And so one of our members had to get changed for their dignity. I'm not going to say who they are, but we ended up, being able to, kind of create that little space. And we never really said like that was the origin. I think this is the first time she's hearing the story.
Yeah.
And so after that, we kind of were like, all right, let's just kind of huddle around. And that's really what ended up kind of starting it. But that's really, once again, not something, codified or solidified origin.
Yeah, that's so adorable that you do that for each other consistently. I love that. And I think one thing that really impresses me about Eclipse is that there's that air of friendliness, the strong community, but you also maintain really high standards for dance quality. And I know those two things can be really hard to maintain and to enforce in a way. So could you tell me a little bit about that, how you balance building that strong community and being supportive and welcoming, but also holding people to that really high standard?
So as Lena mentioned earlier, our team is really vulnerable with each other in terms of, what we're good at, what we're not good at. And one of the things that we also take really seriously is just knowing that whenever, we kind of give each other critiques or advice about dancing, that it's not personal.
We also have sort of like policies that help keep us accountable. When I joined the team, and still when people join the team, we do have like a handbook that is like, hey, like this is what we expect of everybody that joins the team. The expectations are you come to rehearsal, if you sign up, if you say you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it. And we will not like baby you through it. We want everybody on the team to be very like, hold yourself accountable for all of the things that you do as a dancer, as a member, as a representative of the team, and just as a representative of yourself, I guess.
Yeah, that's so important in establishing with any performance group or even just community of people. So could I hear a little more about your audition process?
We have an audition workshop. It is optional but highly recommended just because we will go ahead and highlight different things that we would like to stress that are very important for the actual submission. So we'll do our best to have the audition workshop on a Saturday, and then we'll have the submission videos for about 90 seconds of choreography that we would teach at the workshop be due, I think, on a Tuesday at midnight. And then during that Wednesday, we would go and decide, who we would like to move forward with. So the people who don't meet the standards for dancing will go ahead and be told during that Wednesday time. Otherwise, then we actually move on to scheduling interviews for the rest of the week for the members that we would like to learn more about. And the interview is not like a job interview per se, but we try to kind of get characteristic traits to see if they would meld well with the rest of the team.
A lot of the times the questions are just like, I just want to know how you're going to answer this. Like, I want to know what your personality is like and what you're going to say, as opposed to like, we're looking for this very specific answer.
Right. Yeah, no, we don't really have a specific answer, but when we, ask hey, what's your favorite cover of ours? And then they kind of go, oh, I don't have one. Then that's kind of like, do you even know about us, or have you just heard of us? Did you just look at our numbers, And that's something that we really would like to avoid. So.
That definitely makes sense, especially when it comes to, getting internet clout and that sort of thing. It brings in a different element, which absolutely would impact the group. And I know a lot of the numbers really took off for you guys on YouTube after you started doing your K-pop in public videos. And I believe the first K-pop in public video I saw was the Boomerang cover by 101.
Yeah.
Why don't we take it back then and watch your cover of Boomerang by 101.
Boomerang. Hey, 돌아버려. Boom, 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 boom. 네 마음 향해 슛 하고 던졌는데 Oh my God. 화살은 내게 feel 하고 다시 날아와는 괴롭히네 너는 대체 뭔데? 나를 미치게 해. 나도 나를 미치는데 hey. 어떻게 너는 나를 작아지게 하는 건지 I don't know. 네 얼굴 행동 하나하나 다 love it. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. 말해봐, 나만 봐. 내 옆에 난 꼭 붙어 있어줘. 그대여 가지 마세요. Ring, 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 ring. Boomerang. Hey, 돌아버려. 내가 돌린 건지 달린 건지. Hey, 돌아버려. Boom, 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 boom. Boomerang. Baby, 넌 날아가, don't you know? 얼마나 내가 원하는지. I promise you. 난 너를. 약속해 어디든 take you there. 그 누가 뭐라던 I don't care. 네 손에 반짝 끼워줄 수 있게. Wing, 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 wing. Boomerang. Hey, 돌아버려. 내가 돌린 건지 달린 건지. Hey, 돌아버려. Boom, 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 boom. Boomerang.
I know you mentioned a little bit how this cover was one of the first to take off and you saw big numbers after uploading. So I'm curious how that success really changed things for the group. I know you mentioned that it could impact the way people audition or how they find you, but internally, as leaders, how did that change things?
So that first, very, very first public filming cover was kind of really stressful for us, you know, because we were like, oh, where will we ever have enough space? And then we found out that Union Square is very nice about that.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. And so a lot of our covers, if you watch, are taking place in Union Square as well. And I think because of, you know, the things that Lena had mentioned earlier about, you know, having that, you know, potentially like up to 4 takes and being done. That really, for example, Isalota Miguel, our videographer, you know, just to be like, okay, yeah, we're done, and then he can go ahead and edit. And it's actually a lot easier for him to edit as well, because he doesn't have to go through people like going, oh, you can't use this take for like this section because I sneezed, you know, or like, oh, my hand wasn't in a fist and it was really supposed to do that, you know. So it's a lot easier for Miguel to edit, because really what he just needs to know is, you know, which take are we using, and then he'll go ahead and work his Miggy magic, as we like to say. And we ended up, you know, kind of coming into a really good groove for, you know, okay, we're going to have this cover on this week and we'll have practice, and then we'll go up to San Francisco on, you know, Saturday, we'll film, Miguel can edit, and then it'll be out by like Sunday, Monday, you know. So we ended up coming into this groove that really, really worked out for a lot of us, because, you know, most of us are, you know, we're like full-time employees, students, you know, and K-pop is this thing we do for fun. So being able to compartmentalize like just 1 week of commitment for a lot of us was really, really, was just really nice to have.
And I feel like the style of filming in 1 take, live, having a live audience, must have also prepared you for the competitions that you started to sign up for. So at what point did you feel prepared to start competing as a group rather than just uploading your videos?
So I actually really don't like competing. That's actually something that I personally am kind of against. And I think it's just due to kind of my discomfort in not quite looking for validation per se, but just knowing that, you know, the judges are human, right? And, you know, there are going to be different factors that kind of go into judging competitions. And it's kind of just like, we really didn't want to kind of look for self-worth in, you know, these in-person competitions. And so we will most of the time enter like the 1TheK dance cover contest, because those are actually judged by the idols, and like we love getting noticed by, you know, we love getting noticed by the idols, which is, you know, kind of why most of our competitions that we do enter are the ones that are, you know, being judged by the companies, you know, the idols, or, you know, even that incredible opportunity that the 5 members had to open for Ace up in San Francisco as well. And so that's something we try not to enter too many competitions that are kind of like, here's money, you know, or you know, here's this kind of recognition, because we already have the recognition of, you know, like over 400,000 subscribers out there that, you know, that mean a lot to us.
I know another special opportunity you guys were invited to do was to be the special performers at the 2019 K-Pop World Festival. Could you tell us a little more about that experience?
Yeah, sure. Lena was actually performing, so I feel like she's better equipped to answer than I am.
I guess so. But the thing is that they actually reached out to us and asked if we would be willing to judge K-Pop World Festival. And so Sarah was the representative who went in and was a judge for the festival.
I didn't realize. That's so exciting.
Yeah, so this was actually an absolutely incredible opportunity because, you know, I was asked to judge, and so we got there, and then I kept hearing people kind of whisper, and then we found out that Alex Reid was going to be there. And so Alex Reid sat, I think, one seat away from me, and I kind of just kept staring at her, and it was like me and then Amber Davina, who is a teacher in the San Francisco area. And so Amber and I would be talking, and I would just keep looking over, being like, oh my God, that's Alex Reid. So it was an absolutely incredible opportunity, and she follows us on Instagram now, and like,
exciting.
And she recognizes me now. Like, I saw her at KCON, and she would be like, oh my God, when are you performing? I would love to catch you. And she is an absolute sweetheart, and I love the amount of mentoring she's been doing. But going back to the K-Pop World Festival, it was an absolute honor to be able to judge the K-Pop World Festival because it was kind of a sign that it was like we're prominent enough in that space to have not quite an authority, you know, but just to be recognized as someone who could judge a competition. And so that was actually a really, really fun time. And I know leading up to the week, we ended up covering a couple songs that were on our backlog of things we really wanted to cover. So I think, yeah, we can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we had Solar Eclipse and Lunar Eclipse both prepare small covers for that performance. And it was just really nice because it was very much like a, we're special guest performers. So we really have to make sure that like we prepare something that's really like fun to watch, and songs that, again, like were on our backlist, that our members were like, I really want to do this song. Like, please, can we do this song? So often if we don't do a cover of it, we'll perform it. And it was just a really cool experience to be able to kind of come in and perform for other K-pop performers too, like K-pop cover performers.
It must have felt so good to be able to have that, not just from people observing, but like you said, people who also perform, and they know what dedication it takes to build up that type of group and have that level of professionalism. Yeah. So it sounds like this brings up a lot of really good memories. So why don't we watch your performance from the 2019 K-Pop World Festival?
저도 난 네가 있기에 내 숨을 쉬게 해주는 너를 모든 걸 밝게 해주는 너를 난 믿어 어디도 나의 곁에는 너 하나뿐인 걸 Day night 언제나 내 머리엔 너 하는 걸 어쩌봐 널 향해 어쩌봐 이 사랑이 닿을 수 있다면 나 어떤 것도 난 할 수 있어 1분 1초 네가 그리워 너와 나 여기가 바로 heaven 너와 나 여기가 바로 heaven 멀리 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 떠나고 싶어 손잡아 높이 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 날 수 있어 Baby we'll be together 춤을 춰 세상 끝에서 두 발을 맞춰 걸으며 순간을 느껴 내 눈이 숨이 맘이 너를 원해
clean.
So good.
I am shocked. Oh my gosh. And we talked about the level of professionalism that other people could see on stage. Visibly, it is so clear how much effort you put into all of this. So I definitely want to ask, I must know, how do you get that level of professionalism with facials, with the energy, even with the videography to make everything look so clean all the time? What's your process like with that?
It's honestly something we don't like necessarily teach. Like we don't teach too much about like presence, mostly because like I personally don't think I'm qualified to, right? And we would kind of just say, you know, hey, make eye contact with the camera, like especially if it's your solo, like if there's something that, you know, while we're monitoring, we notice something, then we would kind of say like, hey, you know, hey Lena, can you just keep contact with the camera until it's the very end of your line, until you hear the next line, you know? And it would be things like that, but we don't really talk about, you know, facials or anything like that, just because one of the things that I personally like kind of telling people is just be as confident, like whatever makes you feel confident, whatever makes you feel like you look best, go ahead and do that. And I think most of the time it'll really shine through, especially in how we go ahead and cast our members into, you know, thinking, hey, I think this person will be really good for these solos. And they generally tend to embody those really well.
Yeah. So it definitely looks like you guys take a lot of preparation to get ready for your videos and your performances. So what's that process like for you to learn, teach? How long does it take?
So our whole process from beginning to end is actually 1 week.
For each video?
For each video.
Yes.
What? How?
So what we do is we generally tell members, you know, we plan these things out like weeks
Well
in
in
advance,
advance,
about
yeah.
a month and a half probably.
We've got a really good system, I think, going where, like again, since we know in advance what it's going to look like for that week, members will sign up for a cover, and then other members will volunteer to be cleaners. So they're the ones who will come into the practices prepared to be like, okay, here's the notes. I'm gonna look at the fan cam and we're gonna compare. And then they just kind of also just watch to see what it looks like. Be like, that looks kind of off. Like, let's look at what this is supposed to look like. And it's deep cleaning details.
And I know that when you're preparing for a video, it's obviously not just the dancers that have to be clean, but the camera work as well. So when does your videographer come in?
He comes in on mostly either the Thursday or the Friday practices, and he'll actually film our very last video, actually for like sometimes our Patreon even, and that's our final practice video, and sometimes patrons will get to go ahead and see that a little sneak peek. And Miguel actually has also had some dance experience as well, and so during the week he'll actually study, and I know sometimes he even storyboards like when he wants to zoom in and what kind of shot he wants, so he has a lot of say in like where we even film, you know, and he'll be like, oh, Union Square, it's really easy for me to get certain colors there, or like it'll be, you know, a really good vibe to do it in like the Japantown Plaza.
Yeah.
Wow, his dedication and skill absolutely comes through. I love watching how it accentuates your movements in the videos, which is so important with the dance video in particular. So I know that a big part of your YouTube channel was obviously filming in public, gathering big crowds, which is something that we haven't been able to do for a little while. So how has the past year in quarantine with COVID changed things for your group?
Directors made the executive decision. We went on hiatus in the middle of preparing for a cover. We were in the middle of preparing for a BTS on cover.
Oh.
And it was going to be like a very big production.
Yeah.
And maybe we'd gotten 2 rehearsals in, and the directors had...
It was that Wednesday.
Yeah, it was that Wednesday. The directors went into our group chat and we said, we can't, I don't think it's...
We're not comfortable,
we're not comfortable
with risking our members' like genuine physical health and their family safety.
Clearly you transitioned really well. I know you released a K-pop in quarantine cover rather than K-pop in public of Left and Right. What was the inspiration for doing that cover and transitioning?
We just wanted to kind of tell people that we were still alive. That was really a huge component.
I watched it and loved it and thought it was really impressive, like you said, that you could bring it together and have a certain level of cleanliness without meeting in person. So why don't we check it out? Why don't we watch your cover of Left and Right?
하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. Left and right, left and right, left and right. 17.
잊지 말아야 해 줄배선에 설 때는 부릅뜨고 고개를 들어
무릎 꿇고서 추진력을 얻고 나면 제일 먼저 I'ma celebrate I'm the Mario we party today 클라이맥스 달려 꼬리를 휘날려 또 하잖아 버팔로 Red carpet 위를 줘 내일은 잘 나갈 거야 더 하물며 대기권을 둬 수만 더 하하하하 20만 더 하하하하 이것은 결승선에 The Memphis ceremony 시원하게 Left and right Left and right Left and right Rip it rip it Left and right Left and right Left and right Rip it rip it 기분 좋을 땐 걱정 없이 서서 확실하게 follow me Left and right Left and right Left and right Rip it rip it Yeah I burn up 누구의 말도 안 들어 내 말을 또 들어 조금씩 그래 싫지 우리에게 필요한 건 달콤한 내일이잖아 행가래 하늘 향해 달리고 달려봐도 도대체 어찌 억지를 내가 달리는 것만으로도 충분하다고 그럼 뭐 어쩌라고 안 뛰는 것도 방법이라고 아무리 한번 하하하하 스무만 더 하하하하 이것은 결승선에 너 make that ceremony 시원하게 Left and right Left and right Left and right Rip it rip it Left and right Left and right Left and right 기분 좋을 땐 걱정 없이 더더 확실하게 follow me Left and right Left and right Left and right Rip it rip it 혼자가 아니라 우리 위라서 겁낼 필요 없어 혼자가 아니라 우리 위라서 또 걱정 없이 달리지 So 결정의 ceremony 쓸 생각은 왜 하나 둘 셋 넷 Left and right Left and right Left and right Rip it rip it Left and right Left and right Left and right Rip it rip it 같이 가보자 걱정 없이 더 확실하게 follow me Left and right Left and right Left and right Rip it rip it
But now the restrictions are lifting and people are getting vaccinated, what are some future plans you have for the group?
Nothing too big. I mean, we're just trying to get back into the swing of things as safely as possible. And so we do have a couple things planned. Lena and I are going to practice right after this. So excited and still nervous, you know, just to see. We've had a year and a half, like almost 2 years of just not doing much. So we're really excited to kind of get back into the swing of things, get back into that groove. Because really, once we're in that groove, we never really left until COVID hit, really.
It was very interesting to have to like take a forced break almost. So we're hoping to go back to like our regular schedule kind of thing of just weekly covers and just seeing what else is out there to offer. A lot of organizations are starting to do performances again and festivals, and so we've gotten some contacts from performances and events that we've done in the past already.
Wow.
So they're like, we're coming back. Do you want to come dance with us again? And it's very exciting. So we're really excited for a lot of upcoming stuff.
So it definitely sounds like you have a lot of things already in the works to pump out once it's ready. Well, I know I'm super excited for everything you guys have coming. One of my favorite covers of your guys's is Flash by X1. So why don't we watch it really quick before we go?
Savior, my desire. 물결에 빠진 듯이 정신이 온통 너뿐이야
한참을 헤매던 순간 반짝인 You're like thunder My lifesaver Yeah
나만의 방법으로 너를 비추 데리고 가 지금보다 더 better 순간이 따우리도 많이 깜빡 Flame to the ground when you're fire You're the one to leak I'm in fire Light me up and I light you brighter Color me 시간이 멈춘 듯이 태워 이불 꽃을 light up
I can take you high 이제 시간이 됐어 저기 높은 곳으로 지금 너를 데려가 눈 깜짝할 순간에 우린 연결돼 있어
You and I we make you high 우리 둘의 마지막 rally point Yeah we burning burning we burning burning burn up Crash
하늘 텅 있던 곳 잠깐의 스친 너와 나의 sparkle 불꽃이 휘어 찬란하게 비춰 운명이야 우리 light up and fly 보여줘 너의 fantasy 눈이 멀어버린 순간 심어줄게 널 가득히 Come on, 가슴 없어져 너의 곳에서 눈에 빛나고 있어 너가 날 비친다 내가 널 비친다 You light up my life
Flash
Oh my god. Seriously, so clean though. Oh my gosh. I love the editing of that one as well. It's just, everything's so good. So we definitely see you've had so much success with K-pop in public, K-pop in quarantine, and obviously lots of exciting plans coming up as well. So of course we want everyone watching to stay up to date on Eclipse's upcoming dance covers. So could you let us know where we can find you on social media?
Sure. On YouTube, we are Eclipse.
On Instagram, we are at eclipse.kpop and at lookingforyou.eclipse for any behind-the-scenes videos and photos. And you can also find us on Patreon, where we're putting out behind-the-scenes videos and filming fan cams if you'd like to support us in any way.
Yes, definitely check it out, everyone. And thank you so much again to Sarah and Lena for meeting with us today. Be sure to check out Eclipse's YouTube channel to see their various dance covers, Q&A mukbang videos, and a video of Everglow reacting to their cover of Dun Dun. But before we go, let's check out a section of one of their tutorial videos. I'm Yusun with Sarah and Lena of Eclipse for Music Makers, and see you next time.
The parts that I'm going to teach is chorus and the dance break. The first day count will look like this. I'll do it slowly. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8. Okay, to break it down, push your hand to the right side of your body basically, and at the same time you stick your right butt out, and then you push it back to the left, your butt go with it. And it'll also help if you, one more time, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8. Okay, moving on.
Simsalabim, sim, simsalabim, sim, simsalabim, sim, sim. 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 멀리서 헤매지 마 시계 빛나 웃어봐도 활짝